Hello there, and welcome to the Private Practice Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Brooklyn Storme, and this is the place where we dive deep into the nuts and bolts of building a successful private practice. If you're like many therapists that I have the very good fortune to talk to, you might find that marketing is the trickiest part of running your practice, or perhaps one of the trickiest parts of running the practice. And maybe you've tried a few different things, but they're just not working, or maybe the whole marketing thing in itself just feels like this great big mystery that's just really hard to figure out. And that's okay, because that's exactly why I've put together something super special for you. In fact, in this July, I am hosting a completely free marketing workshop exclusively for therapists. So therapists means psychologists, counselors, social workers, accredited mental health social workers, the play therapists, music therapists, art therapists, nutritionists, dietitians, the Reiki practitioners, the yoga masters, everybody, so that you can come along and see some real growth in your practice. It happens over 3 days. Over those 3 days, together, we're going to unravel some of the myths and mysteries around your marketing that you're not even aware have been holding you back. Because here's the thing, right? We don't see our own blind spots, do we? So I'm going to give you tools and processes that you can use to have your aha moments when it comes to your marketing, because you need them. You'll also learn how to connect authentically with ideal clients. I'm going to teach you how to boost your visibility for the business without spending a fortune, and finally start to get some traction, meaning start to get inquiries, bookings, visibility, opportunities that you've really been looking for, okay? So I have helped hundreds and thousands of professionals just like you to transform their businesses, and now it's your turn. I would really love to help you too. So whether you're feeling overwhelmed by social media, have you been posting on Instagram to crickets like so many of us? Are you in love with your website, but your website's not showing you any love in return, i.e. no inquiries or bookings, or the ones that come through just aren't right, or there's not enough of them, or perhaps you just don't even know where to start with the whole thing? Don't panic. I've got you. This workshop is designed with you in mind, okay? So what do you say? I am here. I'm going to show up for you every single day for those 3 days. And here's another thing. If you've ever joined any of my pop-up groups, if you've ever been in any of my pop-up workshops, you will know my mantra is over deliver, right? I am going to show up for you. I'm going to stay on those coaching calls until every last person has had their question answered. I'm going to be there every single day to answer questions in our community forum. We've got a very private, exclusive little space where we're all going to come together and form our own little community for those 3 days. And I'm going to give you resources, tangible deliverables that you can take away. I'm going to give you templates so you don't have to stress anymore about what to write and how to write it and how to say it. No, I'm going to make them for you. I'm going to give them to you. I'm going to give you swipe files. So a swipe file is stuff that I use in my business. I'm just going to give it to you. You can use it in yours if you want. I'm going to give you workbooks, checklists, cheat sheets, you name it. I'm going to put it together, package it all up and give it to you. And I'm only going to give you things that I know get results, right? You're busy. I'm busy. I don't really enjoy, mucking around, and I'm sure you don't either. So this is a no fluff zone. Only come along if you want to get some results. Only come along if you're coachable and you're willing to learn. Okay. Otherwise, there's no point you being there. Okay. But you should know that the spots are limited because I want this experience to be really, 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 really impactful. So just visit the website. It's brooklynstorme.com. Brooklyn Storme. Storm has an E on the end. Brooklyn Storme is all one word, .com, and you can register and reserve your place today. All right. It is absolutely time for you to learn how to transform the way that you've been doing your marketing so that you can start getting more inquiries, more clients, more booking, more opportunities and more visibility so that you can start working with the clients that you really, really do value and dream of serving. Okay? Thanks so much for tuning in, and I cannot wait to see you there. Let's make your private practice shine. Okay, so I know that was very exciting, wasn't it? It took me about 27 goes to record that. No, that's not true. It took me about 6 goes because I kept stumbling over my words. I just get so excited about it and then I speak way too quickly and oh well, you know how it goes. So it is Friday when I'm recording this. It's Saturday when it's getting published. But I just want to tell you, I've had like this really, really great day. You know how I was telling you after I did the launch, like it took me a good week, maybe week and a half, 2 weeks to get my energy back. Well, I feel like the energy's coming back. The other thing is, so that's like really good, isn't it? The other thing is on the weekend, on Sunday, just gone, I watched a documentary on Netflix called How to Hack Your Health. And it was so interesting because it was talking about gut health, and it's like that sounds very, very boring to me. But the reason that I watched it is because I watched a film in the past a few years ago. I did mention it on the podcast. I forget what it's called now, but it was about all the sportsmen and how, you know, you could recover, your body could recover quicker if you didn't eat meat or something. And so from that point on, I think for about 18 months, I didn't eat meat. I didn't identify as vegetarian or anything like that. I couldn't eat meat for some reason. But anyway, so it piqued my interest, how to hack your health. And they were talking about all these microbes, and it got me really interested because they were talking about how, you know, you've got two brains, really. You've got your gut brain and you've got your regular brain. But it was showing you how the two communicate and how, you know, you don't have to just eat like air quotes healthy food if you want to feel good. It's about eating what you want to eat, but also making sure you're also eating all the fruits and vegetables that you should. And one of the things was the specialists that they were talking to and the scientists and the researchers were from like Denmark and Germany, America, Israel, and somewhere else. And they were talking about how you need to be eating between 30 and 40 different fruits and vegetables a week. So it's not you need to have that many serves. It was you need the range. And I was sitting there and I was watching it and I thought, I don't even know that I could list off 30 or 40 different fruits or vegetables. But anyway, I thought I'm going to give this a go. And I haven't tracked it for the last 2 days, but I can tell you I'm up to 15. So I've still got another 15 to go if I'm going to get to 30. And I've got 2 days to do it. So I don't know. I went out this morning and I did get a salad. Well, anyway, I ended up getting 4 salads. I went to Soul Origin. Long story. But anyway, I woke up this morning, took Buddy. Thank you everybody for lovely comments and questions about Buddy. It's so nice to have them come through. So thank you very much for that. But yeah, Buddy's doing great. He's been better this week in some ways. In other ways, he's 11 and a half months old. And I only just found out that makes him an adolescent in dog years. Hence the, you know, being sassy, which I'm not a fan of, by the way. But anyway, so he went off to, I want to say school, but it's not. It's doggy daycare. He went to doggy daycare this morning and I had booked myself an appointment to see the optometrist for 9 a.m. in Mornington. So I took myself off down there. The reason this had come about was because I've got 2 pairs of glasses. They're both the only pairs of eyeglasses I've ever had. I just don't throw them out. I just keep them. So anyway, one now I'm using for looking at the computer, the other one for looking at my phone and my iPad. But I noticed that I've been getting headaches and stuff like that. So I thought, okay, I'll go. So I booked an appointment, went down there, had so much fun. And like, it was just so much fun. I was just in a mood to be playful. And I was just being very playful with my optometrist. And then I was being playful with the lady who was doing my scans. And then I was being playful again with the lady who was actually getting me fitted and sorted out for my glasses. So I am so excited. I think I was there for about an hour and a half. And I really love my new glasses. I ended up buying 2 pairs, and one pair, it's like bold. It's like, boom, there she is. And then the other pair, it's like a little bit less bold. It's sort of, let's call it medium bold. But I really like them because I feel like they've got a secret thing, because on the very inside of the arms, there's like this really tiny, whiny little floral pattern that reminds me of when I went to London to do the interviews for Sky. what I went to a place there called Liberty, and Liberty was beautiful. It's a a place where you can go and do shopping, and maybe think about David Jones, kind of like that, but it's got like bespoke things in it, very special things in it, and one of those things was like fabrics and scarves and prints and things like that, and so it looks like a Liberty-esque print on the inside, so I felt very, very special, and nobody can see that print because it's just on the inside, so it feels like something special and secret and private just for me. So I loved it. But anyway, while I was there, I was telling the lady, hey, I think that my eyes are getting bad because like I'm nearly 50 now, and I'm starting to get nauseous, and blah 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 when I'm using my glasses and I'm doing all of my work. And so she did all of these tests, and she said, not your eyes are great. Turns out for distance I've got better than 20/20. How's that? Apparently I've got the eyes of a 20-year-old, but I still need some glasses for my close-up stuff. Okay, ho hum. But she said maybe something's out of alignment in your neck or your back, because it can be that or middle ear stuff that can, cause those kind of symptoms that I was telling her I was experiencing. So then I thought, okay, great. So I came out of there and I was thinking, I don't want to go to a bone cracker. One of my old clients used to, you know how people get words mixed up, like some people say ambulance instead of ambulance, or they say pumpkin instead of pumpkin. One of my clients, he used to say chiropractor. I thought that was so sweet. I really loved it. I never forgot it. So yeah, I thought, I don't really want to go and see a chiropractor. It doesn't appeal to me at all. And then I was thinking about going and seeing a physio, and then I thought, I want to get something done now. So then I thought, I'm just going to go to one of those. Now, I know people are going to have opinions about this. I know when I say it, but I just went to one of those massage places. Honestly, those ones that really give you a good pommel. So anyway, I was feeling really good because I bought my glasses. So it was like, big financial outlay there that you're not expecting, but okay, great. And then I went and had this massage. I had 2-hour massage at this place. I just got everything done. I said, if you see anything's out of alignment, feel free to do whatever you need to do. I want everything done: head, shoulders, neck, back, everything. Just do it. I don't care. So I was there for 2 hours. Came out of that feeling so good. And of course, I was being very playful with the lady who was doing the massage. So it made it even more fun. She couldn't believe that I used to do wushu and that I went over to China to do it, because it turns out she's from Beijing. So we had all this stuff to talk about and blah, blah, blah. And we were talking about retiring. And she was saying that she doesn't want to go into an aged care facility when she retires. And I said, well, I'm not doing that either. And she said, well, what are you going to do? And I said, well, I'm just going to take my air quotes aged care facility money, and I'm going to nick off to Bali or Thailand, and I'm just going to go and rent a villa for the rest of my years, and I'm going to have people there, and I'm going to swim in my pool every day, and I'm going to get sun on my skin every single day, and I'm going to eat whole foods every single day, and I'm going to have somebody come and cook every single day, and I'm going to have fresh air, and I can be near the water, and I can go shopping, and there's going to be color, and there's going to be life. I'm not going to go and sit in a room and just wait to die. This just isn't me. It's not what I've got planned, right? I mean, best laid plans and all that. Who knows what's actually going to happen? But this is my dream for, my old age, which is probably coming up a lot sooner than I'd like to admit, actually. But that's my big plan. Anyway, so we were talking about that. And we were just having so much fun. And then, so we finished. And then, of course, I'm going to go back there, right? Because now I'm going to do this every single Friday after I drop Buddy off. But so I got my eyes done. Then I had this 2-hour massage. I was feeling very luxuriated. I was feeling very indulgent. I was feeling really hey, you're looking after yourself today, kiddo. This is good. And then I got myself a Boost juice with banana and cacao and muesli and oats and, all the extra things you can add in to make it like antioxidants and that. So I got that because I was like, yeah, this is me being healthy. Like, this is my higher self here. She was loving it. This is all my higher self's fault, by the way, because once I started taking care of myself today, I wanted to take even more care of myself. Do you know what I mean? And then what happened was, I was leaving and I saw Soul Origin and I love, love, love their salads. So I just got myself this massive salad. And the guy says to me, who's serving, he says, you can have 4 salads in this. And so my higher self says, here's where you're going to get your other 15. So I was like, thank you, higher self. So I deliberately got salads that had vegetables and stuff in that I haven't already eaten this week. So I think I'm probably getting close to the 30 different things. And I have to tell you, it's only been a week, but as you can hear, my energy is much better than what it has been, right? Would you agree? I'd agree. So I haven't felt this energized since being on the actual live calls for that private practice workshop that we did, which, by the way, was nearly a month ago. I know, get that. Where does the time go? It just flies. One moment, just got to have a drink. I really love tea too. Do you? I really love tea too. It is so good. Anyway, the other thing is it's Mother's Day coming up, right? And so my sister and I, we were in the car because she loves to take the boys, my nephews, Hudson and Bradley. She loves to take them for little drives on the weekend to help them sleep and settle. But they're getting older now. So, sometimes the little one likes to have a little bit of a sleep. Sometimes the big one will, but most of the time the big one's awake, But anyway, we were driving around and we were talking about what we're going to do for Mother's Day. And because, I live with mum and blah, 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 and I want to make sure she gets to have a nice Mother's Day. So I was trying to tee up stuff with my little sister. So, yeah, we were organising all of that. And anyway, I think I must have really annoyed my sister because at the end of the conversation, my sister says to me, well, remember, it's my Mother's Day too. And I said, it is your Mother's Day too. And I'm really excited about that. And yeah, of course, we have to zig to your zag as well because you've got the little ones that you've got to organise. So I kind of got a bit sticky. And then I said to her, and it's my Mother's Day. And she said, what do you mean? You don't have children? And I said, no, but I've got Buddy. And Buddy's birthday is on Mother's Day. And then my sister said to me, what do you mean? And I said, what do you mean? What do you mean? He was born on Mother's Day last year. And she said, well, his birthday isn't on Sunday. And I said, well, it is because it's on Mother's Day. And she said, Brooklyn, his birth date doesn't change every single year like that. And I said, do you know what? He was born on Mother's Day. I'm just going to celebrate it on Mother's Day. I don't give a hoot about the actual date. But anyway, she's like, well, you're not a real mum, so you shouldn't be celebrating the Mother's Day. But you know what? I think poo-wee to you. I'm going to have a nice day with Buddy. We're going to do something nice together as well. So anyway, after we got home and I said, goodbye, nice to see everybody again. I came inside and I was thinking to myself, yikes, when actually is it? And I realised, well, it's in 2 or 3 weeks. And then I knew I had to do something, get my mum something for Mother's Day. Now, one of the things is that I've told you again recently, my mum's discovered YouTube. She loves it. Absolutely loves it. And I think I told you before, she was looking at something. She loves to watch all YouTube clips about the royals. She's very worried about poor Catherine at the moment and, wearing a lot of yellow, my mum is, to kind of send Catherine some positive vibes and all this sort of stuff. But anyway, it was while mum was watching some of this stuff on YouTube. You know how YouTube makes suggestions and it brings up new things? Well, I had this thing there and I remember it because it was such an odd name, but it was called Trilogy Media and they do a lot of stuff on hunting down people who do scamming, right? And we clicked on it by accident. It turned out to be very interesting and funny. And anyway, then we were like, oh, let's watch some more. So then one weekend, we kind of just like binged watched a whole lot of videos off their channel. And then, of course, that got us interested in, oh, who else has a channel? And it just kind of went like this. But anyway, when my mum was watching all this stuff about the royals recently, she was telling me about how Meghan and Harry, Meghan has got a brand now called something, oh, what is it? American Orchard Riviera, something. Anyway, one of the things that she's doing is she's selling jam, and she, as part of her marketing for the jam, she totally balls this up. So I'm going to make a note of this because I want to come back to it because it's so important. Let me just write it back on the back of this. Megan's jam marketing. Yeah, this is so good. I'm going to help you with something here and give you a real life example. Anyway, and so apparently for some, I'm not up to speed with it all because I'm not really that into the royals, but apparently like it was quite controversial or something. I'm not sure. If you know, feel free to let me know because I'm still not clear on the whole thing, but it caused some controversy. And there were other videos of people saying, oh, you can get jam from Buckingham Palace and it's only like £5 or £7 or whatever it was. And, if you get Megan's jam, it's this much. And like, okay. And then I thought two things. Number one, I've got to step back a minute. When my mum and I were watching all the stuff on Trilogy and we're watching like Scam Sandwich and Scam Betas and all of that, and what was the other one? Social Catfish. We're watching all of those. There's this guy who does, he baits scammers. And one of the things that the scammers often do is they try and get money out of you. And if they can't get access to your bank account, they ask you to go and get gift cards. So like, that's why I never knew this. But whenever you go down to Woolies or Coles and stuff like that, they've got at the, where you used to go and get the cigarettes. I think you still might go and get cigarettes there. But they've got usually a piece of paper, a little sign that says, caution, if somebody's asked you to get a gift card. Okay, so this is why. Apparently what the scammers do is they say, oh, well, go down to your nearest shop. Usually these are American, right? So they'll say, go to your nearest CVS or go to your nearest Walgreen or Walmart or something like that and go and get some Apple gift cards or some Google Play cards. And then they ask the people to scratch off the back, that silver bit that covers up numbers. So you have to scrub that off, and then the scammers want you to read out those numbers, and that's how they get the money, right? Anyway, so while we're watching these videos, what some of the scam baiters do is they say, yeah, I'm going to get in my car now. They're not really doing it, right? But they're saying to the scammers, I'm getting in my car now. Yeah, I'm going to drive down to Bunnings or whatever and get my cards. But what we see is them playing GTA, right? Grand Theft Auto. So it's like we see them get into the car and then they go for all these drives around. I think it's LA because I see lots of palm trees and stuff. And anyway, my mum really likes that they're driving around. So I was thinking maybe for Mother's Day, I'll get her a Nintendo Switch and I can get her Grand Theft Auto, and then my mum can sit there in her recliner in front of the TV while I'm at work, and she can sit there with a little Nintendo Switch and she can be doing Grand Theft Auto, right? That was my plan. That was what I was going to get her for Mother's Day, and I thought I was so proud of myself for that. I thought this was a really great idea. But then she started telling me about all the controversy with the jam and stuff like this with the royals, and then I thought, do you know what? My mum loved the Queen. She loves the royals. I thought maybe I'll see if I can get her some of that jam, right? Not Megan's jam because I don't even know how you get that. But the videos that we saw are about Buckingham Palace jam or something. So anyway, I went with that. So I come inside, I go onto my computer and I'm Googling, Buckingham jam and all this. It turns out the palace has a shop. Great. So turns out that, I'm going to have to calculate it for you, but I think, hang on, I'm just going to, if you hear clicking around, it's just me asking for a quick conversion here on pounds to dollars. Yes, it's about double. £1 is about $1.95 Australian dollars, right? So it's about double. Anyway, so I go into the bucket. I'm being quiet because I don't know where my mum is in this house. She could be just outside the door. I don't know. But I do know that she's hard of hearing. So I'm talking in a low voice so she can't hear me because I don't want to ruin the present. But anyway, so I went in there and it was a really beautiful online shop and I got her a Buckingham Palace jam and I got her a marmalade and I got her a Buckingham Palace wooden spoon. I got her a tea towel. I got her a crystal tumbler. I got her pens for the Queen. I got a Queen memorabilia. I got her a tankard. So a tankard is just like a kind of not a teacup, it's more like a mug, but it's very fine. I got all this stuff, right? And then I went to pay for it and my eyes nearly popped out of my head. I nearly did Buddy eyes. Like Buddy, he can bulge his eyes out when he gets really startled and surprised about stuff. I feel like I channeled Buddy when I saw the checkout, but it's okay. And then it said it was going to cost £30 for shipping internationally or something. So I was like, okay, so it's about $60 to get it all shipped. But no, when I actually went to the checkout, it was a lot more than that because it turned out I had gone over the weight limit. So anyway, but now I keep getting all these messages from DHL giving me updates every 10 minutes on what's happening with the package, but I'm so excited to get it. I cannot wait. She's going to be over the moon. Oh, that was one of the other things I got. It was Buckingham Palace gin, because I love hard spirits, right? I love gin, I love whiskey, I love scotch, like that's my stuff. And Mum was never really a gin drinker. She is now, thanks to me. But I wanted to get her a gin that she couldn't get here. So yeah, I didn't get her the regular one with the juniper berries and everything. I got her one called Sloe Gin, SLOE, which is made by berries off the actual estate. So I'm feeling like very proud of myself. I feel like I've got a really good Mother's Day present for her. I'm so, 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 so proud of myself. Anywho, oh, that's what I was going to tell you. I was going to come back to Megan and the marketing. Now, this is just so important because it's an example of what not to do with your marketing. I think I do want to share it with you. So for those of you who don't know, apparently she made some jam, right? And she did a limited run. I think she made like 50 pots or 50 jars of jam, right? You can go and see it on Instagram or something. I'm sure if you type in American Riviera Orchard or something like that, it'll come up. So she put like a label on the front of the jam. This was the first mistake. She put a label on the front of the jam. You can go and see it. I'll see if I can get a picture. And if I can get a picture and if I'm allowed to upload it with credit and everything into the show notes, I will do that so you can see it. I'll just make a note to myself to upload the pic of it so you can see. The label simply said something like, 3 of 50 or, 21 of 50 or something like that. It doesn't say anything else. So she's run into all these problems because nobody knows what on earth flavour jam it is, number one. It doesn't say whether it's strawberry or plum or, lavender jam. Like nobody knows what on earth jam she's selling because doesn't say. But also it doesn't actually have the back panel label that's got all the nutritional information. So nobody knows what are the ingredients? What are the preservatives? Are there any colors? Are there any additives? So there's none of that, none of the calorie count, none of the sugar content, none of that's on it either. And what else? Oh, and there's no sort of best before date, and there's no due date and stuff like that. So this doesn't sound like much. This sounds like me being very, very petty, but it's not. This affects your marketing. If people don't know what you're selling, how are they going to buy it? And if people don't know what's inside or what they're going to get, why would they buy it, especially at this price point, right? And I think that is like an analogy in a way for us with our businesses, or maybe not so much with the business, maybe it's with a service that you're marketing, like your counseling sessions or your play therapy sessions or whatever it is, or maybe it's a product that you're selling. So maybe you've got digital products like your online course or your online membership, right? Really important that it's very clear what it is. So if you're going to have jam, you need to say what flavor jam. So if you're going to be marketing your private practice, you need to let people know who the practice is for. Who's going to eat your jam? Who did you make this jam for? Who did you build this practice for? And it's not jam for everyone, right? It's going to be jam for people that like strawberry, or it's going to be jam for people that really like lemon, right? Or your private practice is going to be for people that really need help with trauma or really need help with grief and loss, for example, right? That's number one. And then thinking about what's inside and what am I actually getting here in terms of ingredients and, sugar counts and carb counts and calorie counts, all that sort of stuff. I think that's very similar to, well, what do I get when I sign up for your counseling? Like, what's all the stuff that I'm going to get, and what does that actually mean? Like, don't just give me a label. This is one of the problems that many of you have on your marketing. Usually it happens on your website and on your Psychology Today profiles. You list off, I use this modality and that modality and this modality. That is the same as saying to a consumer, oh, there's additive XYZ123 and additive FKL MNOP QRS2V, and there's additive. Like, you're saying what they are, but nobody knows what they are. And so are you going to buy something when you don't know what it is? No. So really, really important that, okay, you have that information on, but explain to people what it actually means for them so they can make a choice about, do I want to buy this jam? Do I want to go and work with this therapist? Okay, that's the first thing that I want to say about the jam. The second thing that I want to say about the jam is the approach that was taken to the marketing. What happened was, now nobody knows if there were 50 pots that were actually sent out or not. Okay, that's the first thing. So there's questions going on about, were there really 50 pots or were there only 8 or something? But what she did was she packaged up her jam. She put it in like little baskets or boxes, surrounded by lemons, ripe lemons and lemon leaves. And her jam is sort of sitting on top or nestled amongst the lemons, if you like, with its white muslin cloth and a white little ribbon around it, and it's got this little label on. She's done calligraphy. Well, it's not calligraphy, it's cursive writing, I'm told, that says jam or something, and number this of 50. But what she did was she sent out pots to famous people and influencers like Kris Jenner. I'm just going to use that because that's the example I'm thinking about at the moment. But she sent it out to like Kris Jenner, who is the mum from the Kardashians, Kylie and Kim and Khloe Kardashian. I'm sure there's more, but I don't keep up with the Kardashians. I'm just going to be honest with you. And she sent it to them randomly, And in it, there was a card. And on one side, the card had the person's name, the recipient's name. So one side, right in the middle of the card, dead center, it would say Chris Jenner. And then on the flip side, so you turn the card over, it said something along the lines of, please enjoy this jam. It's a lovely gift from me. It would be much appreciated if you could take a photo of you eating it or using it or holding it, put it on your Instagram so all your followers can see it, and be sure to tag me, right? That's a massive no. Who does that? That is not a good marketing strategy. Now, I know you're probably listening to this podcast going, "Oh, Brooklyn, come on, don't be so mean. I'm not going to be giving anybody jam." I know you're not giving anybody jam, right? And I think the thing that I want you to take away from this is, if you want to share something with somebody of influence in your field, like let's imagine you want to send, you have it in your head that you really love trauma stuff and you really love Tara Brach, right? And in your mind, in your daydream, in your fantasy, in your anything's possible state of mind, you imagine sending her a copy of a book that you wrote all about trauma. And you think it's like this great book, which it probably is. You want to send it to Tara Brach. And ideally what you want is for her to be so blown away by your book that of her own volition, she goes onto her Instagram and says, "Oh my gosh, Jane Doe sent me this book all about trauma and it has blown my mind. You have to get yourself a copy of this book, blah, blah, blah. It's by Jane Doe. I think you can go to her website, janedoe.com, and go and get the book and order it. What I really liked about it was it's broken down into these chapters and it's got these useful bits here and it's got journal prompts over there, and it's more like the very practical, almost like a workbook, like a reader. This is just such a fantastic, and I am so thankful that she gifted it to me." And then you imagine that Tara Brach tags you in the post or gives you a mention, and you wake up the next day and boom, your Instagram is blowing up because now her followers are coming over to you, right? That's your dream. And that's ideally how it should work. Ideally, right? You don't ask people, "Please go on Instagram and say how wonderful my thing is and remember to tag me and remember to tag the name of my new brand or the name of my private practice." We don't do that, okay? Now, speaking of things that we don't do, you know how to do it instead. The way to do it instead is what I just shared with you there about how you would just off the cuff surprise an influencer, surprise someone who's in your field with something, and leave it up to them. If they want to talk about it on their social media, they will. And kudos to you if that actually happens, because that would just be amazing. And you deserve it, by the way. Okay. Now, there's something else that I screenshotted this so I could read it out to you because my eyes nearly fell out of my head when I saw it. Where is it? I'm just checking my Instagram now. One moment. Okay, can't find it. I've probably just saved it in my Instagram or something. I swear I took screenshots though because this was so important. It seems to be trending at the moment for therapists and I do not know why, but really, really, really concerning. So someone, and of course I'm not going to say who the practice was. I do remember the name of the practice, but I'm not going to say who it was, obviously. Yep. So they were saying, I'm just seeing if I can find it for you so I can read it out exactly. I can't see it. Anyway, they were saying, "I'm offering free counseling sessions." So this popped up on my Instagram. It was like really bright. It had a picture of a phone, I think was was on the graphic, and it said, "Hey everyone, I'm offering," oh no, it just said free counseling, big heading, said free counseling with exclamation marks around it. And then on the actual graphic, it said, "I'm giving away free counseling sessions, click to read more." And I thought, WTF, what's going on here? Big ethical issue straight away. I didn't even have to click more, but I did. So I click on the caption, which is another word for like all the text, right? The bit that you read, that's called the caption. I'm just saying that because somebody asked me that the other day. They're like, "What's a caption?" So that's all it is, right? It's Instagram speak for the bit that you read. So having a look at that, and it says, I believe that everyone's got the right to counselling, and so I'm giving away 15-minute free counselling sessions and, all this, right? I nearly lost my because I wanted to contact this person straight away and say, "What on earth are you thinking? Like, what are you doing?" And she was going on and on and on about all this free counselling and how you could, come get your free counselling for your trauma and come and get your free counselling for your anxiety. And she also does the free counselling for this, that, or the other. Now, we had a few issues with it. Here's what the issues are. Number one, it's deceptive. We cannot be deceptive with our clients, okay? In our industry, we are governed by very, 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 very strict ethical standards and standards around advertising, right? It is highly unethical to be saying, "Come and get your free 15-minute counselling session for sexual abuse, for domestic violence, for trauma," for all the things that this person had listed, right? Highly unethical, because the way that this person was doing it was, you just ring this number and you get your 15 minutes. So I rang it. And guess what happened? I rang it and I said, "I'm here for, the 15-minute counselling session." She said, "Oh, great. I can do that now for you." I said, "Wonderful." She tried to counsel me for about 15 minutes. And then at the end, she said to me, "Okay, so would you like to have some more counselling?" And I said, "Oh, yes. Is it free?" And she said, "No." And I said, "Oh, how much is it?" She told me how much it was. And I said that I couldn't afford it. And she said, "Oh, well, that's a shame." And I said, "Right, so what do I do now?" And she was like, "Well, nothing. You maybe come back when you can, That was her advice to me. I could not believe it. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. This is no word of a lie. Scary stuff. So, did she do an intake with me? No. Was there an intake form for me to fill out? No. Did she get my details? No. What if I had called up and been experiencing suicidal ideation? What was she going to do? She didn't have any of my details. She didn't have my number. I rang from blocked my number. I rang from an unknown number. She didn't have my name. She didn't have my date of birth. She didn't have my address. She didn't have my next of kin. She had nothing. She didn't have my doctor's name. She didn't have his phone number. She had no information whatsoever. She tried to give me a counselling session over 15 minutes. Was it a counselling session? I don't think 15 minutes constitutes a counselling session, really. It was me doing most of the talking and her going, like that. And then it got to the end. I didn't feel like I'd had any counselling. And then she slaps me with a fee for if I want to come back and see her. And that came right out of the blue. And the fact that when I said, "Hey, I can't afford that right now, what do I do?" She was like, "Well, I don't know, maybe just wait until you do have the money. Maybe you save up, and when you do have the money, you book in a session." That didn't sit right with me either. I mean, there was no process in place for supporting people who couldn't afford to see you, right? So many ethical problems here. Anyway, so there's all of that going on. The other thing that's an issue is the other thing that's an issue is there was no transparency. So at no point in time did she say to me, this is a 15-minute counselling session, and at the end of that session, I will talk with you about maybe, booking further sessions. And if that's something that you want to do, the fee for that is this. There was none of that in her caption, and there was none of that in the actual graphic, right? So again, total lack of transparency. I wasn't informed of my privacy. I wasn't informed of my confidentiality. I didn't sign anything. I don't know what happens with that conversation. Did she take any notes? I don't know. Can I get those notes? I don't know. Can my doctor get those notes? Probably not. It was just really, really concerning. Really concerning. I think too, the other thing that's concerning, if I put my supervisor hat on now, right? If I put my supervisor hat on now, it's not only a concern because of how this was marketed, but it's a concern that there are obvious processes and procedures that are not in place that absolutely should have been in place. But also, how can you say that you're going to give somebody 15 minutes of counseling? Like, it doesn't work like that. It's not how it works. Anyway, there was a lot wrong, and you can probably imagine all the other stuff. I'm not going to go into it now, but there was a lot of stuff wrong with it. And this is such a problem because I follow so many therapists and counselors, right? So every now and again in my free groups, we do share your links type of stuff. And I'll go and I'm going to follow people because I want to support them and I want to go and like their posts. If it pops up in my feed, I'm going to give it a like. If your stuff is getting posted and I follow you, but I'm not liking it, that's because it's not showing up in my feed. Okay. And it's nothing about you. It's an Instagram thing. Instagram only shows your stuff to a third, if you're lucky, of your followers, if you're lucky. So anyway, massive, massive, massive ethical issues. But I have noticed now, because I spent time looking at that caption and reading that caption and getting all worked up about it, and because I spent time looking at the graphic and everything, now Instagram thinks I'm into that. And so guess what I've seen today? Another 4 or 5 just like that. Just like that. Now that's reportable, don't you think? That's dangerous. Nobody should be doing that. So please, please, please do not. It's not a way to fill your books. By telling people you're going to give free counseling, that is not a strategy to fill your books. If you're going to offer free things, you need to understand that there are ways that you need to do it so that it's compliant with our advertising guidelines in Australia. Anybody who's going to go and book in for the free counselling session with you needs to, tick the terms and conditions or complete an intake form or sign consent. Like this person, I don't even think she took my full name. I think I just rang up and said, I'm Jane. Anyway, it's a worry, don't you think? It's a worry. And when people talk about, or counsellors that have got a diploma, blah, 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 blah. Let me tell you now that these 4 or 5 that I've seen today, I've gone over to the websites. Guess what? They don't have diplomas. They've got master's degrees. Master's degrees. Master's degrees. I mean, let that sink in. This is such a problem. Anywho, I'm so passionate about marketing, as you can hear. You don't need to use those strategies. And in fact, the more you use those strategies, the more you risk bringing your own reputation into disrepute, but also bringing our counselling profession into disrepute. That is not fair on your colleagues, right? So if you're thinking about, I'm offering free 15-minute counseling sessions, yada, 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 stop right now. Don't do it. There are other ways to fill your diary. Like you're obviously going to do that, or not you, but the people who do this are obviously doing it because somebody's done it before them and they've thought, oh, that's how you market, or they've thought to themselves, oh, my supervisor does 15-minute sessions, so I'll do free 15-minute sessions. But they've got to A up, right? They don't understand what they're meant to be doing, and they're just having a crack and they're getting it wrong, and it's dangerous. It's unethical and it's dangerous, but you don't have to do that, okay? So if you came along to that free workshop that I did about 4 weeks ago now, you know what to do with those sessions. So you're going to be fine. If you're in Private Practice 101 or even Private Practice 101 Lite, you're going to be fine because there's training there for you to do that. If you're in Marketing Essentials, right? So Marketing with Soul has had a rebrand. It's now called Marketing Essentials for Private Practice. If you're in that course, the certificate version of the course, or if you're just in the mini version of the course, you're okay because you also know what to do. You've got templates, swipe files, everything in there to make sure you're doing it legally, ethically, in accordance with your codes of conduct for your relevant professions and everything. You guys are fine. I'm not worried about you. But the ones of you who don't have that information, look at what you're doing. Like, you need to get some help. You need to get some guidance around it. And do you know what? I was saying all the time, well, it's not your fault because this wasn't covered in your course when you went and studied counselling or when you went and studied EMDR. Yeah, do you know what? I kind of feel now it is your fault. Like, you've got to take some responsibility here. You're not going to learn about marketing in your EMDR course, and you're not going to learn about it in your play therapy course, and you're not going to learn about it when you go off to Monash University or Swinburne or wherever you're going to learn about counselling, because guess what? You're going there to learn about counselling. They're different things, okay? They're different things. And I think you have a responsibility. If you're going to go into business and you want to be, successful in your business, i.e. you want to be able to pay yourself and you want to be able to look after your clients and do the right thing by all of them, you need to learn what to do, right? You wouldn't just go and be a music therapist without learning how to be a music therapist. You wouldn't go and be a psychologist without studying how to be a psychologist. Well, some people do, don't they? We saw that in the news just recently. They got into very big trouble for it. But the point is, you can't just go and say you do something without actually learning how to do it and doing the course. You need to have the skills. These people who are using this approach just don't have the skills. And I'm going to say it is their fault, because if they're in my world anyway, I talk about it so much. You do need to invest in certain things in your business, right? You need to learn, if you're going to run a business, you need to learn how to run a business. And part of that is, one slice of the pie is learning how to market it, right? So it is your responsibility to learn how to market, especially when you're working with the type of clients that we're working with, okay? So yeah, I would stop doing that. If that's you and you've got one of those ads up, take it down and go and learn like what you actually should be doing. Go and do a course that's going to teach you all of this sort of stuff, because it is so, so, so important. On the flip side, let me share with you that I do have other clients that are doing really, 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 really well using templates and techniques and tools that they're learning from me in some of my courses and programs. So you can do it. It is possible. Is it going to be hard for you to market when you don't have the skills? Absolutely. Right? Is it going to be hard for you to go and do the tango if you never learned how to do the tango? Absolutely. Will you get there in the end? Maybe, but it's going to take you a lot longer than somebody who went and took a few tango lessons first, right? You need to do the tango lessons if you're going to learn how to tango. It's the same with marketing your private practice. I'm sharing this with you because I care very, 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 very deeply about your success. And it bothers me and worries me and concerns me that you don't seem to be worrying about it that much. And you're just kind of going off and doing stuff willy-nilly. It's putting you in hot water. You could end up in all kinds of legal situations. I definitely do not want that for you. So this episode today is to say, hey, I see you, right? I've seen you on my Instagram, and I'm sure some of you who are listening have probably seen the same advertisements popping up on their Instagram. I see you. I understand what you're trying to do. You're either trying to get clients, or you're trying to fill the diary, or you're trying to make money, or you're trying to get visibility. But I want to say there are other ways that are safe, and there are other ways that are really ethical, that aren't going to cost you money, that can actually make you money, that will still give you that same result. Okay. But you're not going to know what they are if you don't take time to go and learn them. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. Yeah. Anyway, if you have any questions at all about your marketing, of course, come and find me on Instagram, send me a little message and let me know where you're getting stuck. I've got so many tips and tools and stuff that I can share with you. And I'm happy to flick you across something if it's going to get you out of a messy situation. Of course, I want to get you out of a messy situation. I want you to be feeling like you know what you're doing, and I want you to feel confident, and I want you to feel like, or not feel like, I want you to actually see good results coming through, right? That's what I really, 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 really want for you. So if you are getting stuck, let me know. I will help you where I can. If I can't, I will let you know, and I'll refer you on to somebody else who might be able to help you with whatever it is you're getting stuck with when it comes to marketing your private practice. Okay. So if that sounds good, hit me up. I'm here to help. All right. Anyway, I hope that this was it was a little bit of a different episode, wasn't it? Hearing a little bit about Buddy and everything. But speaking of, I have to stop talking now and I have to go and get the little fella. But before I do, I need to stop off and get him something that he can chew on, because he's still a chewer. He loves to chew stuff. Yeah, still chewing my cushions on my couch. So I've still got, I told you I got a little day bed off Marketplace, because I thought I'm not going to go and get my proper sofa until he's got it out of his system. So anyway, I've got some throw cushions on there, just some cheap ones from Kmart, so that if he does rip them up, it's not too bad. But yeah, so he's still learning about that, and he's still learning how to obey me. Because he's a bit of a teenager now, he's like only doing what I say when it suits Buddy, instead of just doing what I say because I'm asking him to do it. He's like, no, I don't feel like going into my crate. No, I don't feel like sitting over there. No, I don't feel like getting down. No, I don't feel like not jumping. I'm just going to keep jumping. The latest thing is he really loves to tap me. So he's constantly tapping me. He taps me on the shoulder. So we're in bed. Oh, that doesn't sound good, does it? We're in bed, and I think I told you, like, Buddy loves to go down onto the doona. It used to worry me. He's done it ever since I got him. He will be on top of the doona, and then during the night he likes to get up, and then he'll go down behind my neck, down my back. He wants to get right under the doona and go like the back of my knee. He really loves to curl up there. And yeah, lately what I've noticed is he's a lot bigger now, of course, because he's nearly a year old. I'll be asleep, and then I just kind of, you know how you feel when somebody's looking at you? You just kind of know when you're being watched. And I just know, and like I kind of wake up. I keep my eyes closed, but I'm like awake now. And then he taps me on my shoulder. He's like, tap, tap, and I ignore it. And he's like, tap, tap. And I ignore it. Then he gives me a really hard, firm sort of rocking sort of tap. He's kind of rocking me. And I roll over and say, yes, Buddy, what is it? And then he's like, I want to get under. So then I have to lift up the doona, because now he's so tall. You know, I've got to actually lift it up for him. But anyway, so I lift it up and then he goes under. But yeah, this tapping business, oh my gosh, I don't know where he's learned it from. It could be a daycare habit. I don't know. But even last night, like, my mum, like, she's got peripheral neuropathy, right? Her feet hurt. But she's there and she's got her little feet up on the recliner, you know, she's lounged back, her feet are up in the air on the recliner, and Buddy will walk past and he wants to sit in front of her and he'll just, you know, tap her foot to get her attention. It's like he's saying, hey, Nana, down here, give me a lolly, I'm down here. She's like, buddy, stop tapping my feet. So yeah, he's got some behaviors that he's got to stop, but I'm doing my best with boundaries and everything. The dog trainer was telling me, oh, only use positive reinforcement, which means never telling him off. But sometimes I have to intervene and I do have to say, buddy, stop. And I know the trainer will be very upset to hear me share that. So yeah, that's just between us, okay? But yeah, I don't know. Positive reinforcement, I think it's probably a good idea. Like, I think it's like, yeah, in my ideal world, I could definitely use 100% positive reinforcement in terms of training buddy. But the reality is, no, if he's chewing an electrical cable, I have to intervene. And this whole like just redirect him, it doesn't work. Buddy's wise up to the redirect. He'll be trying to chew the leather on the chair. And I'll say, stop, and I'll give him something else. I say, here, come and get your bone. And he's like, yeah, nah, I'm just going to stay chewing on the chair. Thanks, Mum. And he'll go and have another chew. I'm like, buddy, this dog. But the good thing is that we've gotten into a better sleep routine now during the day. So it's so good now that Buddy's now saying to me, look, it's 1 o'clock. I really want to go to bed. And he's taken himself off to the crate then. So he comes and he kind of lets me know that he's going to go. So I follow him down. He goes into his crate. I give him a handful of his kibble. That's what I call lolly. So he has some lollies. And then, yeah, just close the curtain, let him in there in the dark, and he just stays there. And then he gets up at about, anyway, usually from 5:30 till about 7. He's in there for a very long time, just sleeping. So these days, I'm really only seeing Buddy from like maybe 7 in the morning till about, lunchtime. Then he's down until dinner time or just after dinner. Then he gets up for just after dinner and we're up together from 7 till 9:30. Then we go back to bed. So he's doing a lot of sleeping at the moment. But the vet tells me it's normal. He's a puppy and he's growing and he's filling out. So anyway, the second vet said, just enjoy it. Enjoy the peace and quiet while you can. So I was like, okay. Anyway, that's my Buddy update for you. Do you think I got my mum the right thing for Mother's Day? I hope so. What are you getting your mum for Mother's Day? The other thing too was somebody was saying, can I do this podcast as a YouTube video? So if that's something that you're interested in, let me know. I'm happy to do it. If it's something that you'd like to watch or just have on and listen to, no problem, because I can just split my screen. You see, I can set up 2 windows on my computer screen, which is a Mac. So one window will be for YouTube and one window will be my garage band, which is what I use to record everything. And I'll just still use my Yeti microphone, and it's not going to make any difference to me either way. So if that's something that you would like to see, no problem. Just let me know. I'm not going to do it if nobody wants it, obviously, but if you do want it, I'm happy to do it. Even if there's only one person that wants it, I'm happy to do it. Not a problem at all. Okay, so hope this was interesting. I hope it was helpful. I have questions to answer. I came on here with the intention of answering questions, but I've got questions to answer from a couple of people. If you want to submit a question, feel free. I will put a link in the show notes so that you can submit a question. And yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. Have a lovely weekend. Bye. I hope that you loved this episode as much as I loved putting it together for you. To get more resources to help you in your private practice, head over to Instagram. My handle is @theprivatepracticecoach. And also, if you want more inquiries and referrals for your business, let me know. I have a program called Clients on Demand that opens every quarter, and I can absolutely get you some information for that as well. You are doing an amazing job. Thank you for sharing your gifts with the world. Bye.